Hey everybody, and welcome to Action Figure Breakdown, episode number 18. My name is Seth, here with you again, and today I am very excited to do a breakdown of an action figure I got today. I was not expecting to run into him at my local comic book store, but I did. Challengers Comics, I was able to pick up this wonderful guy right here, the Mezco 112 Collective Invincible Iron Man. Real quick, we're going to go over this fig. And then we're going to announce our giveaway. I also want to talk real quick about a cool custom I did. I got some inspiration from some people on some Facebook groups on the internet, particularly the Marvel Legends Collectors group. And I got an inspiration to do a cool Iceman figure. So we're going to talk about him real quick. We're going to go ahead and preview our next giveaway, which is going to be a kind of a unique one. We're going to do a two-figure giveaway, and we're going to have 4 different figures to choose from. But what we're going to have you do with this giveaway is you're going to win with a friend. I'll explain how we're going to do that in our next giveaway announcement, which will follow in this video immediately afterwards. So keep an eye on that. We're also going to throw in a little hitch on this one and have you answer a trivia question on one of our last videos to win these figures as well. Again, everything will be explained pretty thoroughly in detail on the giveaway announcement video, but real quick, let's preview the figures we're going to go ahead and giving away. We've got, as we've seen before, Nick Fury, Moon Knight. We've got a couple cool new figures to add to the giveaway. We've got Magic and Mystique. I found these figures out in the wild, guys, and I figured I would give you guys the opportunity to win them. So, good luck to our contest entrants. Once again, check out the video after this one. It'll be our giveaway announcement. But yeah. Check it out, guys, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about, like I said, the Mezco 112 Invincible Iron Man. But first, let me get into a custom I'm excited to talk about with you guys. So I got a little bit of inspiration from some Facebook groups on the internet, Marvel Legends collectors in particular, like I was talking about, and I decided to do a custom Iceman figure. All right, so as you guys know, I might have to go, and I'll leave him up there. As you guys know, the original Iceman was all translucent, like his legs here, or his shins here, rather. And I took the trainee Deadpool body, and I went ahead and I popped the pegs out here at the biceps on both Iceman and this figure here, the trainee Deadpool. And I basically just swapped everything. So we've got the arm swaps here to give him look like he's got sleeves there. And then we've got the shins. Some people have suggested to me to take Cyclops's or the trainee Deadpool's wrist shin straps right here and put them on Iceman to cover his knees. I'm on the fence about that one. I kind of like him. I kind of like the look the way it is. Also, it might require me taking it apart again. So that might just be laziness on my part. But at this moment in time, I'm really actually kind of digging this a lot. As you guys can see, I added a couple spell effects. I've got a Adam Warlock spell effect on there for some ice and snow. And I also took my own magics, little wrist fire. Gave that a little cool ice effect right there as well. So yeah, guys, that's my custom Iceman. I'm thinking of scrubbing the X-Men logo off here so he's not a trainee. But we'll see. If I do any more work to this, I'll update you guys. But I'm really excited about this. Love the Iceman head. It's a really good sculpt. And yeah, so that's that, guys. Really excited to show you guys that. So thanks for taking a look at that. And then we're going to talk about, like I was talking about before, the Mezco 112 Iron Man. So this was the definitive Iron Man I wanted for my collection. I have Infinity War Marvel Legends Iron Man. Big fan. Like the nanotech looking armor. Super cool. They also did a version of this one, I believe, for the Marvel Legends 10-year anniversary 3-pack, and he came with a light-up chest, so that was a pretty cool version of that too. This is the Invincible Iron Man we have from the Marvel Comics. Big fan of this guy. He comes with the Tony Stark head alternate. Really like this figure. But I wanted a kind of a more classic throwback to comic Iron Man. So I went ahead and I was looking around and I was hoping to run into this guy maybe online for a decent price or at a comic book store. But I didn't expect to run into him at a comic book store, and I did. And so I ran into him here. He cost me quite a bit of money. The Mezco figures retail at I think about like $50, $60, maybe a little bit more, maybe in the 75 range is MSRP. But usually the places that get them are local comic book shops, or you buy them online through third-party retailers. And they're closer to the $80 to $100 range after shipping. So that's about what I paid for this. He was super expensive, but definitely worth it when we take a look at the cool accessories that we get. So some of the cool stuff that you guys will see that we get here, you get some repulsor blast effects, which are super cool. Kind of like we have on the Legends figures, but these are a lot cooler in my opinion. And then we get a chest beam effect, so that's really neat. And he's got some booster effects for his boots. We've also got wrist rockets, power pods with diffuser missiles. We've got 6 interchangeable hands. I'm assuming that's including the hands he comes with, so that's just 6 total pairs of hands. And then we've got the cool 112 collectible display base and adjustable opposing post, which is neat. So it comes with a stand, which is super cool. You'll notice it says metal components, light up features, magnetic visor. So we're going to have a cool magnetic visor feature. As you guys can see from the poses here and the artwork on the back of the box, it looks like we got a cool unibeam feature, which is neat. The lighting's not super great on my camera, so you guys can't see that wrist rocket in this picture right here. Oh, wait. Yep. Yeah, you can right there. It's pretty good. Okay. And then we see in this photo right here, we've got the magnetic visor. So let's take a look at that. I got him unboxed already. I played with him. This figure was too cool not to take apart. Plus, I had to put the batteries in it to get the light up effects to work. So let's take a look at this guy. And the first thing we'll note real quick, well, I've already got the chest unibeam thing in. So, that's pretty cool looking. He's an awesome looking figure. And as you'll see, he's got that really cool metallic sheen going on. We'll get a closer look at this guy. As you guys can see, I've got him in unibeam pose already. But we'll go ahead and break him down piece by piece and show you guys everything about this guy. So we'll go ahead and take the unibeam out and talk about his articulation a little bit and the accessories he comes with. Cool thing about the 112 fig, it did come with the batteries necessary to put in the fig. What sucks is their watch batteries. So when they do die, they're going to be kind of hard to replace. It does come with an instruction booklet and how to replace all those things and what size batteries you need specifically, so that's pretty cool. The instruction booklet is also helpful in putting together the figure, where things go, specifically what accessories are for what parts. It also comes with a cool little labeled 112 accessory bag, which I thought, it's just a little Ziploc baggie, but this is still pretty cool. Every figure collector likes to have a little bit of organization. I have those little Tupperware containers I've shown you guys before. So this is neat. So I've got a little baggie to put with the figure. So real quick, let's talk about the standard figure. So he comes with, let's go ahead, and he's got this little unibeam, the arc reactor filter here, as I throw it on the floor. There we go, I got it. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So here's the arc reactor here, guys. And it's not really, it's just kind of a filter that is going to go over the front of the figure here where I took the unibeam out. But it pops in and out super easy. So just like that, you just kind of press it on. There are 2 little, you'll see how it lines up. There's spots where it lines up and you'll see. There's little nubs in there if you purchase this figure that fit in, and it clicks in pretty nicely. But yeah, so there's that. As you guys can see, he's got metal components, so I feel like bits and pieces of this, like the middle of him is metal. I feel like his wrists are made of metal. I can't exactly feel it. They're just parts that get cold. Like his feet are metal, definitely. Parts of his shins here are metal. The legs are plastic. Let's see. His shoulder pads here are metal. These right here, they're a little bit colder. Oh, I had this in the house is kind of cold, so that's cool. It's easier to tell. All right, so that's that, guys. In terms of the metal components, which is pretty cool. And again, it kind of gives it a neat, just the paint is awesome on this figure. It's amazing. So there's that. Let's talk about his articulation real quick, and then we'll get to the good stuff, the accessories. So real quick, articulation. Shoulders, pretty standard ball and socket we've got here. Bicep, we got our double hinged elbow, much like the Marvel Legends. What's cool about this figure, these hands are kind of neat in terms of how they attach. So it's not a peg that goes into the wrist, rather it's a ball and socket here. Let's see if we can get a good look at that. Anyway, so there's that, and then this moves. This is on a hinge, so you can move this ball and socket back and forth that way, like that. So that's pretty cool. All right, guys, and then and the hand has a little hole where you'll just plug that little peg in there, and you're able to rotate the hand as necessary. So that's neat. The wrist also. So this right here at the top is where you're gonna attach the wrist rocket, and we'll show you guys that in a minute. You guys can see that little hole in there where the wrist rocket's gonna attach. But what's cool is that also rotates. This piece of the wrist rotates, which is super nice. So you can kind of put the wrist rocket in almost any location. Bicep pivot, I think we talked about. Hand, with that cool hand, you get a lot of different ability to articulate the fist, so you can get it in that nice kind of up motion right there. You can put it forward like that. Arm articulation is going to be super nice on this figure. Mezco really just outdoes themselves. Like, they are amazing. Like, you can cock the wrist in a little bit, which is kind of cool. You can keep the arm straight out, but kind of cock the wrist in a little bit because you got that cool hinge. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. Like, let's see if I can show you guys that right there. Because, yeah, that cool little hinge gives you the ability to cock the wrist out. And then, if, like I said, it's a ball and socket, so if you wanted, you can turn it and then kind of point it up. And now his fist is kind of turned up a little bit, which is kind of neat. So that's kind of cool right there, guys. This wrist articulation, like I said, Mezco really outdoes themselves. So that's the arms, which is pretty cool. Pretty much like a Marvel Legend for the most part, which is kind of nice. Let's talk about the head. So the head, oh god, I'm terrified to try to take it off. This is a really expensive figure, so I'm terrified. It goes back and forth. We've got some cool pivot motion up and down. Turn side to side, pretty nice. If I remember correctly, so the neck's got a little give here too. It doesn't look like it's supposed to, but I don't know if you guys can see this, but I can kind of push the neck forward a little. But it doesn't feel like it's supposed to, so I wouldn't recommend it. But as you can see, he's got some good head tilt right there, so he can go in a flight pose. It's got some good side to side action. I'll show you guys right there. Like I said, this is a super expensive fig, so I'm terrified to take this head off. But I'm sure it pops right off. Here's our face mask. So the front of the face mask takes right off, and we got Tony underneath, which is super cool. This Tony face mold, if I can get a good shot of it. Let's see if I can get the focus to be on there we go. There we go. There's a good shot of Tone. So that's pretty cool. It's a little gray, but it's a good face mold. I don't hate it. The paint apps are real good. It's a really good looking Tony. So I get the focus again. There we go. So you guys, there's a Tony Stark. Another cool thing about this face mask, like I said, it's got the magnetic, so it does that as well. It can do the up thing like with the Civil War figs. So we got the cool, and like I said, it's magnetic, so it just clips right on right there. Super nice. And then another nice little touch. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I will do my best to zoom in. But on the figure, oh, there we go. Super cool. So they did a sticker on the inside of the mask that's like the digital readouts of what Tony's HUD would look like, his heads-up display would look like. So it's really cool. It's got, you can't really read anything, but you can, I mean, like, you can see it. It's super neat. So yeah, this is a super cool figure already. We're already on the right track with this Mezco fig. Another thing, guys. Okay, so his belt's super cool. He's got the pods here on his belt, which kind of has a little bit of movability on it. The pods come on and off, and these are the missile pods that you'll be able to replace later with firing missile pods. I'll show you guys those in a moment. Kind of poopy thing about him, he doesn't have ab crunch, which kind of sucks, but he's an Iron Man fig. He's got top pivot, and I believe he's got hip pivot as well, but not super, not a lot. But his ab pivot up here is really good, actually, so it's not super terrible. But you are not going to get him to do like a 360 spin around it, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think his hip pivot is meant for that. It seems like it's more like a G.I. Joe hip pivot almost. Yeah, it goes up and down here at the base. So it's almost like the old school G.I. Joe hip pivot. Thank God it's not on a rubber band, because then the legs would just fall right off and that's going to be terrible. So let's talk about the legs real quick. We've got what look like ball and socket joints. Not a huge fan of these. Let's see if I can show you the inside right there. Not a huge fan of these legs, or these hip joints, but for the most part, Mezco did a pretty good job with the molding, so nothing gets caught. You can kind of turn them the way you need them to. The leg has pretty good articulation backwards, forwards. Again, usually I'm not a fan of ball and socket joints, but it seems like Mezco knew what they were doing with this one. We've got double hinge knees, so the knees bend at both spots. We've got shin pivot, which is super cool, and it's like I said, it's got the metal. She's got these metal components to the shin. The feet are metal as well. The shin itself is not metal. These feet do something cool. All right, so the foot plating, the molding is really cool on this as well. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it. So far my go-to has been focusing on the armor. And then as you guys can see, the details on this are just out of this world. Little screws in the legs. As you guys can see, the plating on the feet right there. Super good too. So yeah, guys, the deets on this figure are just out of this world. The articulation on the feet's not super great. They go back a little bit. They go forward a little bit, but they do pivot, which is pretty cool, side to side at the heels. So it's not super hard to pose him. I mean, this character's super posable. Okay, so bottoms of the feet, 2 holes on the bottom, so it's super cool. So you can put the boosters in, and you can put them on a stand, which is super nice. We will talk about his super cool light up feature real quick. So he's got a back plate, and the back plate has a battery thingy right there, and you kind of just, it's a Phillips head screwdriver. It's super tiny. I want to say it's like the size of like one of those like eyeglass ones. I didn't have one laying around. I used a razor blade. I got lucky and I didn't screw up the back of the figure too much. I wouldn't recommend doing what I just said doing, but anyway, there's a cool little on-off switch here. It's weird. Down is the on position. As you guys can see, the figure's lit up with that little light right there. Oh, good focus. And then off is the up position. I don't know who designed that, but whatever. So anyway, so we'll turn him around and boom, look at that dope arc light coming right out of the center of his chest. So that's super cool. As you guys can see, it's super strong. Right into the camera right there. And that is just, that's out of this world cool. The only downside to this thing is I wish that the wiring went into his hands and his feet, so the boosters will get the same effect. But you guys will see the unibeam effect in a second, and it's just, it's rock and roll. So real quick, let's talk about the accessories. So he comes with, like I said, a cool collector style flight stand. So we have the 112 collector stand here. It's got, as you guys can see, a little foot peg that you guys can stand him in. But he also came with a flight stand as well, so that's super cool. In order to get the flight stand in. As you can see, there's no hole for the flight stand, but there is a hole where the foot peg is. So you just gotta pop the foot peg out using the flight stand, kind of backwards like that, like I did. The foot peg right here will pop out, and then you kind of just reverse it around and pop the flight stand in right here. Then you got yourself a cool little Iron Man style flight stand to hold the armor. So that's pretty cool. I really dig that. Other accessories. So let's talk about the repulsor blasters. Let's talk about the hands, because the hands are going to lead us to the repulsor blasters. So real quick, we'll pop the hands off. He comes with, like I said, a total of 6 hands. So he comes with those 2 fists we showed you guys. And then he comes with 2 sets of open hands. So one set of hands with kind of a closed grip, as you guys can see right there. There's a little cool metallic sheen to where the repulsor blast hole is. This set of hands that's semi-closed does not have a divot where the repulsor blasts would go. So these are not meant to have the repulsor blasts in them. Kind of just maybe like preparing to blast. Again, same thing with this hand. No left and right. It's basically just a left and right, two the same style, one for each hand. And then we got 2 open hands, and these hands are completely open. And as you can see, they did the cool thing of putting the blue paint in there as well. So that'll look super cool. But these hands are slightly more open, as you guys can see. And these do have the divot in there to put the repulsor blasts in. So real quick, I'll put the repulsor blasts in to show you guys those. We'll put the pods on to show you guys the missile pods on the side. And we will put... I should remember which hand's which. That's pretty funny. Oh yeah, wrist rockets. See, we got to do wrist rockets. Okay, so real quick, guys, I'll show you guys. There's the hand with the repulsor blast. So that's pretty cool. It's got the cool little bulb here, and then the bulb at the front end. He also comes with the cool little sparks, or the pointy parts that kind of look like where the blast is coming out. Like I said, these wrists, dude, give you such good pivot. You can kind of shoot this thing in any direction if you want. They can go in and out. They're on a little peg right here. So you see that. And they just... Oh. They pop in pretty easy. And they stay in pretty good. Like, I just keep hitting it. So there you go. So like I said, it's not going to fall out. It stays in pretty good. I'm just an idiot. Keep knocking it out. But yeah, these wrists are super cool too, because like I said, they give you the ability to do cool things with the hands, like put the hands up in this position where we can get the wrist fully out. Like that. That's super cool. You can put them down, so you can just put the wrist down. So you can just blast down. So that's super cool. This figure is out of this. It's totally worth the money. We will look at the foot beams. So there are foot accessories here. There are 4 of these bad boys. I'm not sure. Like I said, there's 2 holes for both. I guess you could use... I mean, all 4 of them go in one. Like that. It seems a little excessive for me. I put 1 in each, or 1 in 1. But what's cool is, like I said, there's 2 peg holes in the bottom. So you can put him in either spot and kind of make it look like he's blasting off, or have different things for different landings, etc., etc. They give you options, which is super cool. You can also use these for the hand pegs. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that real quick. And they fit in the hand pegs too, so you guys can use them for the hand pegs. And like I said, they won't fall out. They're pretty sturdy. Cool. All right, so there's those. And there's, like I said, there's 2 repulsor blasters it comes with. It comes with 4. Let's see if I can get these out. 4 of the cool little blue repulsor beam or booster beams. I will show you guys the cool fire missile pods. So there are these cool little missile pods that comes with. These are the missile pods right here. There's 4 little missiles boosting out of those little side hip pods. You guys remember the hip pods were on the side of the figure right here. So what we're going to do is the hip pods, there's a nub. I don't know if you guys can see the little nub right there. So that little nub has a little nub that fits that little hole at the top. Oh, good focus. Thank you. Thank you, camera, for cooperating today, especially with this figure. So that little nub just fits on that little nub right there, facing that way forward. And you get your cool little missiles. And there's 1 for each side. So Tony can look like he's dual firing. Here, I'll use my black hat as the background there. So he's like dual firing little hit missiles right there, which is super cool. And then he's got wrist rockets. So I like these with the fist hand, personally. Let's get a fist hand on there. Remember how to make a fist? I'm a lover, not a fighter, guys. God, I should edit that part out. I'm not gonna because I'm lazy. Alright, so like I said before, guys, the little hole for the wrist rocket is right there at the top of the wrist. You guys can see it. The wrist rockets are super cool looking. They're not huge. They're about yay big. You can see the little rocket at the end and then the blaster trail at the back. And it connects with a little rectangular plug. God, it's going to be hard to see. Alright, well anyway, there's a little rectangular spot it fits in. And it fits in right on top of the wrist. Like I said, it's not super hard to get it in there. So there it is, guys. There's the cool wrist rocket. And like I said, what else is cool is the wrist rotates. So you can kind of rotate the rocket around the fist if you wanted, and have him shoot the wrist rocket out of the bottom of the fist, which is super cool. Or the top, doesn't matter. Totally up to you. Like I said, dude, they went all out on this fig. For as much money as you're spending, I don't blame them because this fig's amazing. So real quick, guys, we'll show the last part of this figure and then wrap up this video. And then I'll do the announcement video for the next giveaway. And the last part of this figure, guys, is the unibeam thing. I showed you guys at the beginning what he looks like. But we'll go ahead and flip on the lights for the unibeam. So here he is with wrist rocket pods and a unibeam ready to go. And we'll go ahead and do the coup de grace for this figure. Boom! Oh, that's so sick. So there he is, guys. This is part of the reason I got this fig. So there's this dope unibeam shooting out of his chest, all lit up and amazing looking. Totally worth the money I spent on this figure just for the accessories and the light up stuff alone. The metal components, the sick articulation. I mean, Mezco really goes all out. When I bought this figure today, a guy showed me a cool Darkseid figure as well because he was like, "Oh, you're spending the money on a Mezco fig. Here, let me show you this one." And again, Darkseid was. I don't collect DC figs. I wanted to spend $120 on this Darkseid fig. So yeah, that just goes to show how much I like Mezco's figures. They're amazing. Totally expensive and totally worth every single penny you pay for them. Like I said, I got a cool baggie to put all these cool accessories in, so I'm going to do that. Get ready to shoot our next giveaway announcement video, guys. But as we say, is action figure breakdown, guys. Thank you for watching, and keep breaking them down, and we'll see you guys for the next episode. Have a good one.